go. I think we're good.
All
I
right.
don't have any comments section. There's nothing. My comment bar is missing. I don't know. Do you see anything on the side?
I do have a comment bar, but you know what? It didn't ask me to like tweet it out to my followers.
Okay. I'm going to refresh.
Are you going to go out and come back in?
I'm just going to refresh.
Okay. Maybe I can refresh here.
There we go. Now I got everything. I'm good.
Oh, yes, tell them. So I just told all my other, can I go out of this one so I can tell everyone else?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to take my, can I take myself out? Why is it hang up? Call in. Call in. I'm still calling in. There's always the danger when you X yourself out that you're not going to be able to come back in.
Well, you're set as a host for this on both of them, so you should have no problem. You don't even have to request a seat.
Oh, why am I not coming in then?
I don't know.
Huh. All right, so I'll refresh. So, Chef Dennis, we've got 3 shows today.
I know.
So Salads 101, and then what's your show?
At 12:05, I am doing a zucchini noodle with a lemon basil shrimp.
Oh, nice. So are you going to spiralize it?
Yes. Yeah, I have my spiralizer out. And some
fun.
Yep.
Okay, I can't wait to see how that works because I've seen the pictures on Instagram, but I've never seen it actually like work in real life. That'll be fun.
The first time I used it on my show was the second time I had ever used it, and I was so nervous. And yes, I still get very nervous before every show. I was working way too hard, and it was shooting pieces out. They weren't coming out, and it's an epic fail. And finally, I realized what was wrong, and it started coming out better. But I was like cranking, and the worse, the more it wouldn't come out, the harder I was pushing.
Don't spiralize mad.
But anyway, I got it done. So this, I haven't used it in a while. Whenever I make something my wife won't eat, because she's not a big veggie person, certain vegetables and that's it. And whenever it's something she won't eat, I spiralize it because it's like with the kids. If you make it interesting, they don't notice the flavor as much. So she'll tend to eat things a little bit more that way.
Yeah, that is true. And that's one of the things that I was going to talk about today. And then what's Tiffany making? Not Tiffany.
Kristin is making banana bread.
Oh, good. We love banana bread.
Everybody loves banana bread. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing that we eat salads. We eat salads all the time in this house. And one of the things that I did. So now when I say we're having salad on the side, it's not a big deal. They kind of, what kind of salad? And then they'll ask me questions, and then I'll say, well, what kind of salad do you want? Because we always have everything in the house, usually. But before I got to this point in cooking for my family, what I'm doing today is what I would do for them. And I would make the salad bar in our house. So basically, I would dump out everything. I would buy some new interesting things, but I would dump out everything imaginable and put it on the counter so that they could go through like a real salad bar in a restaurant and kind of pick and choose and then incorporate some really fun things. So I would, always make it very welcoming. So, they wouldn't have to reach in too deep. Everything was in one line, and lots of colors, lots of different bowls, just again to make it interesting. And then at the end, I would let them make their own salad dressing. And so that was always a big experimentation. A lot of times they didn't even like what they made, but just the fact that they got to like pour a bunch of stuff together and mix it up, that was fun for them. And as soon as you get someone personally involved in a project,
yep.
they start to own it.
Yeah, they get that ownership, and then next time they look forward, they go, oh, well, next time I'm going to do this next. So they start to build some excitement about doing it again.
Right, and then I add different things. Like one of the things that I add is this maple blueberry syrup, which from Michigan, of course, which I normally would never ever buy, but this mixed with fig vinegar it's sweet, it's blueberry, it's figgy, it's sweet. Oh, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. So that's one of the things that hopefully we'll get to at the end of this show. But another thing that I add to the salads is not just greens and things like that I'm going to talk about. But what I want to start first is a warm room temperature kind of a salad. And I'm using farro. Mm-hmm. Do you use farro?
Yep, love farro.
So we eat a lot of rice, we eat a lot of grains, but the thing with farro is it has, it blew me away, 10 grams of protein per serving.
It's one of the original grains. It's what we lived on when we just started walking upright.
So I'm going to add, and the ratio, so rice, I'm all about my ratios and memorizing it. So rice is 2 to 1, and farro is 3 to 1. So 3 amounts of water to 1 amount of farro. And so this is my rice thing, and I'm just going to go off camera and do this real quick. And start my rice cooking or my farro cooking, because I want that to be finished. It won't take very long to do. And I love my rice cooker. I use my rice cooker all the time. Okay. And do you remember last week or 2 weeks ago we made the super salad?
Yes.
Yes. This is that same radicchio.
Really?
From 2 weeks ago. And look, like you can can you hear it crunch?
Yeah.
Still so fresh. So it's kind of, has some, ickness on the bottom here. So, which is really easy to get rid of. So I'm just going to do that off. And isn't that beautiful?
It is. I love radicchio.
I mean, it's just gorgeous. Okay. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to, for the hot salad or room temperature salad, is I'm going to do radicchio and lemon liqueur in the cast iron skillet, and then I'll add just a little bit of farro to it. Right. The kids are not liking this. It's very pretty, but when I made my superfood slaw, it's so gorgeous. They did not like it at all. They picked it out. But the other day when I made it with when I cooked with it, I put it in a stir fry. They thought it was wonderful. They thought it was cabbage.
Wow.
So I'm like, either they're kind of crazy or I don't know what. Okay, so I'm just going to get that ready off to the side.
Just being kids, I would guess. Not necessarily crazy, just being kids.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've already done here is I've taken my fruit and rinsed it under the water. And I'm using this platter to just put all the fruit on.
Very nice.
And I'm going to leave the grapes like that because, doesn't that look, and I've already picked off the gross ones, right? Because that's all someone needs to see is a disgusting grape. And then they're like, ew, I'm not eating that. And then.
Well, one thing we used to do in the business when I had to do catering and set up pretty trays and stuff was most people don't know if they have a marble or granite place in their neighborhood, they will let you come and carry out as many broken pieces and scraps as you want. And then you use those, you clean them up and you polish them a little bit and you use those to set food out on. And you can even heat them. So they're really neat to break things up if you have some room to store some small pieces of marble or granite. And
really, you can heat granite?
Yeah, you can it's not going to get like you can cook on it, but if you put some sterno underneath of it, it'll heat up.
Oh, wow. Well, when we moved into this house has a lot of marble in it, which I would never recommend a house with marble with kids. Right. But, we moved into the house that has marble in it, and there's, I don't know, 20 of them, 12 by 12 white marble. They're beautiful. And I put them on the table. I put 3 of them on the table because they kind of blend in with any tablescape. And then it doesn't matter. I can put a pan right on it. I can put whatever right on it. So I used them for that, but I didn't really think of them the other way.
That works great for it. I mean, I would even get tiles at like Lowe's and Home Depot to put pans on. If you want to break things up, go buy a few pretty tiles and keep them in your kitchen, and then you can use those like you would a trivet. That's beautiful. Look at those colors.
I know. Isn't that wonderful? And it's kind of flat, so they can, and the blueberries are touching the strawberries, but they could get a strawberry that wasn't touching the blueberry if that's like where they're at that day, which is kind of, it's just kind of where they're at. And then I put the fruit at the end of the salad bar, so I'm kind of starting from behind. But every good salad bar too has every good salad bar has some like yummy things in it, right? Yeah. Like stuff that we don't eat anymore, like those like that marshmallow, orange, pink salad or whatever. This is applesauce that I froze down and this is what we're having for lunch, by the way. That's why I'm getting everything now. So this is applesauce that we made. It's homemade applesauce, and I didn't do anything to it. I just I peeled the apples, sliced them, put them in the crock pot, and then, when it smelled like apples, I stopped the crock pot. I mean, that's kind of how I cook. Do you smell something? That must mean it's done. And so then I smashed up the apples, and then that's how we did applesauce. So that is on that recipe, if you can call it a recipe, is on my website. And my Aunt Clara would make applesauce every year from trees that grew on her land. So that's how every time I think about applesauce, I think about making it with my Aunt Clara, who was really not my aunt, but that's so. So this container of applesauce will literally last maybe a day in the house. But this is how I will serve it, and this is like a little bowl with little tiny feet on it. Here, little tiny feet on it. It's an heirloom bowl, but it makes it fun. So that's the applesauce part of it. And then I wanted to do the greens. Now, I'm completely cheating on my greens, right? So I went to Target because my other grocery store, I don't know why I ended up at Target. So they had really nice looking asparagus, It is not organic, but they have really nice asparagus. And then I bought these. They did not have organic broccoli in organic broccoli, and the regular broccoli looked really not very good. So I bought this. Normally I don't buy this, but I still bought it anyway. And then the broccoli slaw, which I always like to get. Mushrooms. These shreds. Because my kid, you can shred. I can shred my own iceberg lettuce, but the amount of food that I go through now, it just makes sense sometimes to buy this. So, and this will be important later when I talk about how to use these leftovers. All right, so we got, I know, right? So then we have romaine, not organic because they didn't have organic romaine. They only had this kind of romaine, which actually looks kind of yellowish.
Are those hearts?
I'm sorry?
Romaine hearts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And what I found is when you're in the store and you're going to buy romaine hearts, lift them up, because some bags will be substantially lighter than others.
Yep.
And I didn't really realize that. I just realized that probably within the last year. Never really thought about it. I didn't think about it until I went to make a salad, and I needed to make a salad for like 10 people. And I bought two, which should have been enough with the other stuff, but one was a tremendous amount and the other one wasn't. So I kind of got gypped. I was kind of not happy about that. And then baby kale mix. And I know I'm totally, and crispy greens. All right. So, and a pepper. And these matchsticks. I don't know if I'm going to use these or not. We're going to see. Okay. All right. So that is how we're kind of assembling today, but it's not just in the assembling that's important. It's in the it's in the planning of the assembly and then what you're going to do with it later, right? So asparagus, we eat it cooked and we eat it raw. And the way, this is a trick my daddy taught me, because he used to go out and we used to pick wild asparagus. We would, wherever it snaps naturally, that's where it should, this is the bad part and this is the good part. So if you go to cut them, you may be getting a woody part at the bottom.
Right.
So, so I just kind of have fun and, snap these guys off. Can you?
No, I did not know that, so thank you for showing that.
I know, I'm full of, when it comes to Polish folklore, that's me. I'm all over it. And then I don't bother cleaning up the, making them even, but I do cut them at an angle because, asparagus cut at an angle is just more fun, isn't it? Okay. Then, of course, I bought a bag of the peppers, right? These little tiny peppers.
I love them.
I bought a 4-pound bag. I bought a 4-pound bag and said, I've got the cooking show on Wednesday. Please don't eat the whole bag.
That's all you have.
This is what we have left. So next time, I don't know what I'm going to do next time, right? So these I just, slice in my normal way that I do because I'm going to be using these. You can use these in, the soup that I made last week. I put these, I usually put these in everything. And the kids, 2 of the kids love them in their lunch. One of the kids does not like them in their lunch because he wants them fresh. So evidently, there's a difference there, and that one's kind of yucky. And one kid only likes the yellow ones. So I'll go into a bag of mixed peppers, and there will only be red and orange left because she has gone through. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm kind of excited that she eats peppers because they are so good for you, right?
Oh my God. You know, I forgot how much I like peppers, and it was after your salad show that I started putting them in my salads again. As you know, you don't, things like Lisa doesn't eat so many vegetables, so I've learned not to put them in. And I made a big salad. I said, these are so sweet, and she hates it every time I say a vegetable is sweet. As for her, sweet is like candy, which she's not a big eater of, but she just doesn't understand the terminology with vegetables.
Well, that's what my one of my kids said. I said, why do you only eat the yellow ones? And she was like, they're sweeter.
Yep. Well,
the red ones are spicy, the yellow ones are sweeter, and the orange ones are bitter.
Really? That's what she's saying. Okay.
But you know, but you know, usually she's, you know, pretty good with this. I'm going to use later, but since I want them all to look a certain way, I'm going to hold off on this. I'm not composting it. I'm going to use it in a different thing. So I just cut off the top, I cut off the bottom, and then and so those are the peppers that I'm going to have.
Okay.
And so we've got peppers, and oh, I can smell that. That smells so good.
So have you ever cooked your farro in stock, in like a vegetable stock?
You know, I don't cook very much stock inside the rice cooker because it does not seem to it like sticks to the inside of the cooker.
Right.
I don't know why that is. Now, let me just say, no one likes cauliflower in our house. We like it one way, and that's I'm a recipe tester for cookbooks, and so one of the recipes was for cauliflower, and I made it that way, and everyone absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then I lost the recipe.
Oh no.
So I mean, I can get it back, you know, and I'm getting a copy of the book.
Right.
But still, that was kind of a bummer.
What book was it?
I can't say.
Okay.
I don't think I can say.
That's all right.
No, I can't. I'll believe me. I'll be putting a lot of the recipes on, you know, once I can. Okay, I'm not using. All right. So mushrooms. I probably should wash these off a little bit. And I'm always counting. I don't know if you ever noticed, but I'm always counting because I know how much of each thing I'm going to need per kid. Because although I want a lot of leftovers with this, I don't want a ton of leftovers, especially something like mushrooms, because once you wash them and prep them, then you're committed to using them. And I cut my mushrooms. I cut my mushrooms in half and then in half again. So I quarter them. And the reason I do that is because if I put them in stir fry or if I put them in pasta sauce, they can be picked out easily.
Ah, gotcha.
So, or when I'm scooping the red sauce up, I can steer clear of the mushrooms. And I will say that the kids are, I have one, my youngest is still really experimenting with trying new things. And he, you know, he's not the best with trying new things. Okay, so this is just that platter.
Oh, wow. Gorgeous.
So it's just, yeah, it's just those cut up vegetables and kind of alternating the greens and the colors. And, you know, that's it. And it looks pretty.
Yep.
And they can kind of, you know, I could easily go through and say, you must take one from each bit. And then they would have so much color and, you know, fun goodness on their plate. Mm-hmm. Okay. I have, I'm going to rinse this guy off because I don't want broccoli on my next thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, color is important, and alternating colors is something not everybody remembers to do when setting things up. It's something I'm always really aware of because in the business, we have to make things look really attractive for those we're serving. But, you know, it's important to do it at home, too. Like, I always wipe off the plates. You know, if I'm plating something up for Lisa, I'll get a paper towel and wipe the plates to make sure they're clean. You know, it's just what you do.
Yeah, and like last week when we did the strips, you know, the strips of carrot, it kind of, a lot of times, well, it's just, you know, it's so visually appealing to eat food that looks different than what you might think, right? I mean, when you see it and it just makes you, you know, I'm pausing now because I'm thinking about that dish. It just gives you pause when you stop and think about, you know, anytime you have to stop and think about something and you have that pause in your life, then that gives you an opportunity to look at things in a different way, right? Because we're so much on autopilot. And I think that's why people love to go to restaurants. Yeah. I mean, the food isn't always that great, but it's like a surge to our senses in a lot of ways, right? And so that's what makes it kind of interesting. So I know you like oranges in your salad. And do you like cara oranges? Oh,
I love them.
I've got the smell coming up from the cutting board.
I know. As soon as you cut it, I bet it did. I'm on a big tangerine kick right now. I'm eating more of those. It's so funny that our stores do not sell a lot of fresh Florida oranges because they're not as pretty. Our oranges are ugly sometimes. They've got stuff on the skins. They're not perfect like the California ones. But our oranges are so good. But I love cara and I love blood oranges.
Yes. Oh. Blood oranges prepared like this are so beautiful. So did you see how I did that? Yep. I just cut these off.
Now, will you do anything with that skin?
I will. Well, last week I made the vegetable stock so all of that stuff from last week's show. So we had carrots and we had fennel, and I added some onion and the carrot tops. Mm-hmm. In that stock, I added other things that I had in the house. One of them was orange peel. Okay. Because when I made soup the next day, I was making kind of a Italian Neapolitan soup stock. I also used this lemon salt. So you just take lemon zest and you add salt, and it was, oh my gosh, it was so phenomenal. I mean, I posted the photo on Instagram. I mean, it was so pretty, but so the infusion of the lemon peel, or this orange peel, really complemented that lemon salt on top of the soup. And I mean, it wasn't the bee's knees, right? It wasn't all that. It was just throwing a bunch of stuff in a pot and cooking with it. But what I found is that the kids really like to have fruit in their salads.
Oh, a good way to get them to eat fruit too. And fruit and salads just really make it tasty. I did one the other day with blueberries, strawberries, wow, and peppers. It was so good.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting that the more combinations you come up with that you would not think would be, all that, are really, really end up being kind of interesting. And the nice thing is that, right, you try it once, and if you don't like it, don't do it again.
Yep. One of our comments here, he says he's a 17-year-old who needs cooking for a salad. So it's easy enough to add another protein to this. If you want chicken or you want fish in it, that's something you can just put in addition to everything else you're doing.
Yes. I thought it was not going to be my nephew. I'm like, but he doesn't eat meat, so. And then this is how that bowl looks.
Oh, very pretty.
Just the combination of the apples.
Mm-hmm.
And, you don't have to do all of this, right? If you did half of this, and then your kids can see or anyone, you can see what they like and what they want to eat and what they gravitate towards. So then you can say, hey, do you guys want the Asian salad with the apples, crispy, those bamboo chow mein noodle things, and oranges in your salad with the ginger dressing? And just introducing them to the different options out there are, really, really good. Okay, so I've got some olives. Mm-hmm. Those are more for me.
I love olives.
But these are garlic stuffed olives. And these I would just leave these in the jar because they would have fun dishing them out, right? Because this is about getting kids to eat the salad. Where I'm at. Oh, and then I found these olives to go.
Okay.
So
I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought these would be good because I'm doing the Fitbit thing. And if I open a jar of olives, this is single serving, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, they're saying this is 13 servings. Right. No. In my world, in Renee's world, this is single serving. And in this, one of these, a serving size is 3 olives.
Ha!
I think if I can fit, I think a serving size should be more than what I can fit in my mouth, right? That's just should be a rule. So I would put these out if I were having more people, or I would ask the kids, do you want olives on your stuff? Because they certainly have olives on their pizza. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely put olives out on a salad, because oftentimes, and I'm going to say this at the end, but we will have the salad bar. We have a make your own salad bar and then a make your own pizza. Mm-hmm. So so you've got peppers on your pizza, you've got mushrooms on your pizza, you've got, olives on your pizza. You have all those things on your pizza. All right, I'm going to stick those up there. I'm running out of room. The other thing that I'm not getting out, because it's just 3 of us eating lunch today, but I wanted to definitely talk about are hemp seeds. I would put these in a tiny little bowl, but since for lunch I'm going to be the only one having hemp seeds. I'm not putting them in bowls, although I did think about it. Peanuts. These, we go through so many of these. This jar is like single serving for a kid. Like, seriously. And my kids, the rule of the house is you're only allowed to eat in the kitchen.
Okay.
And drink. You can only eat and drink in the kitchen. And, from when they were like little, they would, in our old house, they would stand at the very edge of the linoleum in that house and like peek around to try and see the TV. It was very cute. But they learned they could absolutely not leave the kitchen with food. And I'm so glad that I did that now, because I'm not finding food all over my house and things like that. So they will sit, and they will, since the kitchen is the hub of the house, I can also kind of see like all the stuff that they're eating constantly.
But that also is a good habit to learn, because so many of us eat out of habit, and we eat while we watch TV. So it's not even the mess that we make. It's the fact that we eat more than we need to eat because we're just eating while we're watching TV.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that, I totally agree with that. Although like Super Bowl Sunday, we did have like a little party in front of the TV, but that's like once a year. The other thing is I'm kind of make a big deal out of making my table a sacred place and having the table be where we come together and where we share, and it's a safe place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no bickering. There's teasing and things, good-natured teasing. But when we really come to the table, we come and that's our place to share and be together and to be our own little mini tiny community. Mm-hmm. So I do a lot for, making the table look nice. It may not be much, but, just one, you only need one candle on the table, or, for a while I had the fish bowl in the middle of the table because that's, that's all I could come up with. All right, dry cherries.
Mm-hmm.
So good. And then we have walnuts. Sometimes I roast them, sometimes I don't. Almonds and cashews. Not everyone likes every nut. So it seems like a lot of nuts to have in the house, but they eat them on everything, and it's a great snack. And we go through a lot of them. The other thing that I usually have out is celery hearts, and I'm not doing that because the boys and I can live without celery hearts. But the celery sliced looks really beautiful on that plate. Mm-hmm. We have that as well. All right, am I getting an echo?
No, you're fine right now. I don't hear it.
Ooh, this looks good. Do you constantly tidy the kitchen?
Always, yeah. It makes me crazy at the end of the show because I stack all my dirty stuff in the sink as I'm going. And if I have to jump on something else and I can't get it, all I do is I just keep looking at it, going, I need to clean that. I need to clean it.
Yeah, that's what Mama used to say. She tell me to clean as I go.
Yep. A good habit to get into.
Okay. So this is how it turns out. Did I lose?
Very nice. But you're frozen. You were frozen on the other camera.
All right, how am I now?
All I see is the bowl, which is fine. But I lost your other one.
Okay. Huh. All right, well, I've got you. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes. Oh, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Can you say something?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can now.
Okay.
All right. So maybe I have to refresh.
Well, the other one just disappeared completely. It's not even on the screen.
Yeah, it's on the other camera. They're all circles that are wah-wah-wahing.
Yeah.
So
That's the
I
band.
don't know what that is. I'm only going to take a second with this, and then. That's weird. It won't even let me hang up.
It's
okay.
We
all
have
right.
that. It's buggy. Just finish up with this one.
All right. I'm not going to mess with it. So this is the farro, and so that's how much 1 or 2/3 of a cup of the farro. What it turned into.
Okay.
It's a beautiful sound, isn't it? Like meditation bells.
No, I was thinking more of a dinner bell. It's okay.
So you can see how it comes out and it's not clumped together at all.
Right. Nice.
Right? So it's really kind of nice. And then if you kind of stir it and let it cool, then that will be nice. Okay. The final thing is the lettuce and how you're going to put the lettuce on the lettuce out. And I am going to do I'm going to do this herb salad. Mm-hmm. So it's an organic herb salad. Okay, organic herb salad. Then I'm going to take the radicchio, and I had this in a restaurant in Zierman's in Ann Arbor, and I just really love the idea. So I take for radicchio, or not radicchio, romaine. Okay. I just take this, I just yank it off. The turtles love this.
Okay.
So I give that bit to the turtles. And then what I do for this one is I just let the kids make romaine boats. Mm-hmm. All right, so this is not a good boat because this guy needs to come out. So he's rejected. One's a little bit better. So then I just pile those up like that.
That's a great idea.
And then it's kind of fun because it's sort of like a taco.
Yeah.
And it's all about making it kind of fun for kids, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So this is how that looks.
Very nice.
And I like it flat because in a bowl, you kind of have to go into a bowl. But when it's flat, it's just like more inviting, right?
Yep.
I don't know what mental thing that works on, but I'm gonna try something here. I don't know if I can do it or not. But you're gonna get my kitchen here.
Okay.
So this is the radicchio, and I'm just going to you can't see it, but you can see me. I'm just going to sweat it just a little bit. So I don't know, how long has it been since I walked over here? Not long.
Yeah, not long.
2 minutes or so. And I just want it to get, you know, just a little, you know, not so. And then I take my lemon liqueur.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it smells so good. Let me just take that. And I'm going to toss that together.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I have to decide, what do I want to add to this? And I think what I want to add is a little bit of that fig.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to add a little fig. Just enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes out so thick. That's just such a wonderful, nice thick vinaigrette.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of clings to, it kind of clings to everything. Okay, so I need a couple of my apples. I'm just going to take a couple of my apples. And I have mission figs. So I don't like that. And I'm going to leave them kind of whole.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to really chop them up because I want people to be able to see. Aren't those beautiful? That they're getting a fig, right? And it adds, they're so visually beautiful that they add just so much visual texture to the plate. I know. Who talks about visual texture?
Well, it's important. People eat with their eyes, and you want to have that experience. Eating is a feast for the senses, and the more you think about it that way, the more enjoyable your meals are going to be.
So then I just add this. How simple was that?
Perfect.
And it is so, so yummy. And I love this. This bowl was my mom's. And I like using older dishes I like to mix up the plates. Mm-hmm. when I'm doing this. Okay, so are you ready for the big reveal?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's see if I can I got to put some stuff up here on my notes. Oh, I didn't do an onion, but I should have, right? So we have, the other thing I didn't do is I have these little itty bitty breads.
Mm-hmm. Melba.
And yeah, they're from France. So do French people call them Melba? I don't know.
Probably just call them bread.
Little tiny crunchy breads, but they're so small. They make the funnest little fairy sandwiches. Mm-hmm. Right? And so anytime you can incorporate something like this into a salad bar, then that adds an element of like little fun too. And it's fun for adults. I mean, like really, who doesn't want funness? Okay. So I've got some things. All right, let me, of course, there's a lot of stuff still left out. So I have my warm salad, which will be room temperature by the time we eat it. Mm-hmm. And then mixed greens in a lot of different ways so that we, you know, everyone gets to try something else. And the boat idea is super fun. Oops, am I making you? Then there's the vegetable plate.
Mm-hmm.
Applesauce. Apples and oranges, and then the fruit plate.
Beautiful.
So this is, I'm going to use this camera since my other one is just okay.
Yep.
So that's really how easy it is to make a really pretty salad bar. And the best part is, now that I've done that, so however long we've been talking, a while now. And, you know, I could have done that a little fast. I mean, I think everyone could have done that a little faster. But with this food right here, I made this little cheat sheet, which I've also scanned. So I will have this on the blog. When I put this show on the blog post, mm-hmm. I will have this as a PDF to download. And what it has on it is so with these cut up vegetables, you can do stir fry, soup. You can make a Waldorf salad. If you use the slaw combination that we made last week or 2 weeks ago, you make a Waldorf salad. All of these things were in the white bean chili. You could have a baked potato bar and add all of these things to the baked potato bar. And, of course, the standby red sauce with veggies. And you could add all of these things to the veggies. You'd also just do roasted. You know, once they've sat out for a while, just stick them in the oven, roast them. And then you've got cooked vegetables for the next day with whatever you want. If you wanted to go vegetarian, you could do quiche, have a pizza, or make super yummy, gigantic sandwiches, you know, Dagwood sandwiches, and green smoothies, because that's why we have greens in the house all the time. So we have green smoothies, fruit smoothies, and then protein shakes with the fruit in there. They're just so it makes a protein shake not protein shaky.
Tasty, yeah.
You know, and I do not do protein shakes normally, but you know, since I'm on this thing of losing weight, I'm doing like a protein shake every couple days. And then the fruits, you can make just a fruit salad. And those dang chips, you know, those coconut dang chips on top of there, that adds another texture. And I could put dang chips on dirt, and they would eat it. So, and then all of this stuff would go in that superfood salad that we made a couple weeks ago. And the Asian salad, we do have that Asian salad quite a bit. I used to buy the bag of it at the store. But, you know, I realized how easy it was to make at home. And I found a vegan ginger salad dressing. And and we didn't talk about, well, we make our own salad dressings. So, you know, it's always it's not always a vinegar base. Sometimes we'll do, one of my kids loves, I got it out, but we didn't make it. This Target, it's sweet hot mustard with the maple syrup, and you just emulsify that, and that's the salad dressing.
Excellent.
And I would not have thought to put maple syrup with sweetened hot mustard, but it worked. It absolutely works. It's so good. And we even had it one night. I was in a pinch, and you know, because I have first dinner, second dinner, third dinner sometimes. So when it's 8:30 at night and I have to come up with 2 more dinners, one night I put that maple mustard over a pasta, and they ate it. They thought it was wonderful.
Cool.
So I don't know if it was they were just so hungry by that time of the night they didn't care. But so that, you know, you find these little standbys, and then, you know, you jot them down, and then that's your go-to, you know, your go-to moves. Okay, so that's salad 101.
Excellent. Great ideas. A lot of color, a lot of deliciousness going into there. And it's important for us to eat more vegetables, and this is a fun way to do it. And then repurposing everything is always good. One thing, I'm going to have to go pretty soon, but one thing I like to say too is we always, in the business, would look at our leftovers in the refrigerator and sometimes add those to the salad bar, because there's something in there that you may have had for dinner or lunch the other day, or that wasn't finished, that would be an interesting addition to a salad bar, even if they didn't put it on their salad, just as a side accompaniment with it. So.
Yeah, and that's where like the quiche comes in, and the pizza and things like that. Is that I love. What I end up doing is prepping all of this and then using it as my leftovers. So I do it a little backwards from how you do it.
Well, thank you so much. If you want to stay on a little longer, feel free. But I have to run over because my show starts in just a few minutes. So
okay, I'll see you in a few minutes.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Okay. So this is not going to, does anyone have any questions? The camera is there and I'm trying to get all right. I sent out tempeh and salad as a protein substitute for vegetarian vegan salads. Nice. I don't do tempeh or tofu or any of those things. But I know a lot of people who do, and they absolutely love it. Okay, so that's, I'm too hungry for this. Nice. Okay, so any more questions? Okay, thank you, Michael. Are you leaving? Okay, so, Donnie didn't show up today. But thank you, everyone. Yeah, this is my this knife, my little mini cleaver. It's a Japanese, certain Japanese chefs use knives like this. Are you still here, Michael? I can't. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Up and think. Okay, you still may be here. So a lot of Japanese chefs use knives like this versus the American chefs who use the rocker, which is what Chef Dennis was talking about. A knife like this, or one that's even, I'm holding the computer, so so I can't show you, but it has a more rounded part down here. And then they rock when they cut. So a lot, it depends on who you apprentice under, on how that really shapes, I think, a lot of your go-to dishes. So a lot of my go-to dishes are Japanese inspired, and my food, the way it looks, is very Japanese, more Japanese style than French or Italian, I guess. Okay. All right. Any other questions before I close down the recording and head on over to Chef Dennis? Actually, I'm going to eat while I'm watching Chef Dennis's show. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. If you I will have this information and my cheat sheet on the website, reneebowdy.com, and I will have this blab embedded in there, and I also have them on YouTube. So if you, for whatever reason, and I think it's Renee Bowdy, I'm Renee Bowdy everywhere, so you can find me there. Okay. All right. I will stop the recording.